Let me just start by saying everything is a legend. Everything a legend. But we gonna assume that it's true, right? Start right here and having it sitting on the floor. First of all, welcome to Fly High Productions. I am Mr. Follower. And what I want to bring y'all today is not you see this police department right here, right? Macomb. We done heard about Macomb just here recently. It's been gone viral. If you don't know what I'm talking about Sonia Massey, right? Now, this is the same police department as Sonia Massey. And what's the reason I hopped on her today is because this incident is supposed to be remotely close to Sonia Massey. And when I say remotely close, I'm saying that loosely, right? Because it's alleged that this is her younger cousin. Anyway, check this out. It says domestic dispute between and Macomb ends in stabbing and fatalities. Uh, Officers discharges weapon again. Currently, they have a problem in that city with discharging, and that police department with discharging their weapons, right? So anyway, Macomb, Illinois, right? A domestic dispute in Macomb has resulted in one person being stabbed and two fatalities at approximately 10:03 p.m. Hold up, let me stop right there. This is what always kills me, right? Let me see if y'all. This is the part that kills me. They said at approximately, right? 10:03 p.m. First of all, if it was approximate, why not say 10 o'clock? When you put 10:03, that sounds rather exact to me. I mean, is it me tripping? Let me know in the chat. I mean, I'll fall back, but I'm just trying to state the obvious that we seem to look over all the time. Okay. It said 10:03 on March 16th. Officers responded to the 900 block of North Charles for an active domestic violence incident. One female had been stabbed multiple times. Female escaped and was taken to McDonald District Hospital for treatment. There were two fatalities. Two. She's evidently not one of them, right? Says she escaped. She at McDonald Hospital. All right. Moving right along. A Macomb police officers did discharge their weapon. See, here we go again, y'all. Now I don't know if this is a typo uh on a reporter's behalf, or again, am I tripping her out? Which I don't think I'm tripping. It says A. Later on in that sentence, we see there. That don't make no sense to me. That don't make no sense. But we're gonna assume that we're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and just say that was a typo. I'm gonna back it up. Hey, make them police officers did discharge their weapon. Weapon should be plural. If their, okay, I mean, break it down to me, y'all. I might be tripping. Details coming. Wait. Details are coming into focus as this is an ongoing investigation. The Macon Police Department has turned this investigation over to the Illinois State Police, and the involved officer have been placed on administrative leave, with or without pay. Talk to me, y'all. Never stated, right? So again, we're gonna assume we just gonna assume that that's with pay. Because when they don't put it in detail, that's part of the cover up, allegedly. Yeah, well, now, oh, okay, wait a minute. Let me go back because I didn't finish that story, did it? Because we didn't get to the good part of that story. The part I want to break down of the story. Elder carried away. All right, where we at, y'all? Oh, no, it thought it was giving us. All it gave us. See what the news had to say about that. So what they say, ongoing, huh? Ongoing investigation. Well, guess what? I understood the assignment. Now check, like I was saying, right? What that they didn't disclose. They didn't disclose the most important part of that story to me. KHQA update. You heard them. They said two were deceased, right? Why didn't they disclose the deceased? They did indicate that the officer A slash their officer discharged a weapon.
Resulted in one female being stabbed and 2 fatalities. KHQA's Zach Richardson joins us now with what law enforcement has told us to this point.
The Illinois State Police continue to investigate after a domestic violence incident resulted in one female being stabbed and 2 fatalities. At approximately 10 o'clock p.m. March 16th, police say they responded just off the campus of Western Illinois University to the 900 block of North Charles Road for an active domestic violence incident. Police say a female was stabbed multiple times, but was able to escape before being taken to McDonough District Hospital for treatment. According to police, the incident ended with 2 fatalities. Police say a Macomb police officer discharged their weapon and say more details are coming as this is the focus of the ongoing investigation. KHQA reached out to both ISP and the McDonough County Coroner for more information on the identity of the deceased, but was unable to get anything at this time. The Macomb Police Department has turned the investigation over to the Illinois State Police, and the involved officers have been placed on administrative leave. I spoke with one neighbor who lives in the complex who said they heard yelling in the building from 2 individuals before police came. They also stated they heard a number of sirens rushing to the area and shortly after heard a single gunshot. Now, this is an ongoing investigation, and we will continue to bring you more details on this as they become available.
Well, we're not talking about these two deceased people. And what did the discharging of the police weapon have to do with that? Came across which one was that?
Police say was holding a knife to the child's neck. State prosecutors say they reviewed police reports and recordings from that. And prosecutors say a Macomb police officer was justified in shooting and killing a man and a 4-year-old boy. Investigators say the officer responded to a domestic violence call at this apartment complex back in March. We're told the officer fired one shot at the man, who police say was holding a knife to the child's neck. State prosecutors say they reviewed police reports and recordings from that incident when making this decision.
Thank you all so much for coming out today. My name is Teresa Haley.
And prosecutors say a Macomb police officer was justified in shooting and killing a man and a 4-year-old boy. Investigators
Did all that rap. Anyway, as I was saying, they want us to believe that these are the details that we just got. Now we figured out who these other two people are. These other two people being a 57-year-old man and a 4-year-old little boy. The police were called out to save the woman's life. That's sad, right? Coincidentally, allegedly, this woman is supposedly be to be Sonia Massey's relative, right? This is the details coming in. And again, as I told y'all from the top of this live, everything is alleged. But since it's out there, we're gonna put it on the board and pick it apart, and we're gonna see if we can find the facts, right? Now, I'm only gonna bring the facts other than the story being told that these victims are relatives of Sonia Mann. The 4-year-old little boy, which was shot by the police, him and the 57-year-old, it's all supposed to be one shot, one bullet, 2 lives, right? And the mother of that 4-year-old, they supposed to be relatives to Sonia Mass. Man, I call bullshit out here, y'all. If this is true, I see some bullshit involved. Now, it's also alleged that this woman had been, the same woman that was stabbed by her boyfriend, had been harassed by the police department for months before this incident occurred. We're not gonna stamp it right now, which I shouldn't even be talking about it, but it's in the YouTube street, so that's why I'm speaking on it. You know, I haven't got no confirmation on this other than what I'm bringing to y'all now, uh, the videos or whatnot, the news clips. But I don't know if this is really actually Sonia Massey's family. Let's just put it like that. But this is the story that's being told. Nevertheless, we still got a 4-year-old life that has been taken out here by the hands of the police. Which, all right, well, I'm gonna stop right there because I don't want to get ahead of myself. You you know what I'm wondering? Check this out, squad. Who's okaying all this, right? That's what I started thinking. Like, who's over all this? I mean, they call it. Was it you gotta steady go up, up the chart. If the department not doing nothing about it, or the police not doing nothing about it, or they are what is alleged to be the problem, don't you go over them? You would go talk to somebody else, right? Well, anyway, man, I want to know who's the chief. Let's see who the chief is. Where he's what he talking about.
Here in Illinois, Macomb police officially have a new chief. Macomb Mayor Michael Inman announced today he has appointed interim chief Jeff Hamer to the position. Inman said Hamer was selected out of 16 applicants during a nationwide search. Hamer was named interim chief in March. He has worked for the department for more than 2 decades.
You know, the thing that I really love about Macomb law enforcement is just being in Macomb. I love the community, the people. You go to the post office, you go to the store, you go to some of the activities downtown, and you just run into a ton of friendly people. And I think what makes Macomb Police Department successful in that is that we're sort of by proxy an extension of that.
City council members are expected to confirm Hamer's appointment on August 7th.
But yeah, this whole incident, right? Now this the latest that's just come out about this whole case right here, right? Now they planning on to release. That's what I was saying. Like, before I get to that, the whole part about them, when something is constantly going on here in the media and it becomes what we call now viral. I always seem to kind of shy away from that. Now I pay attention to that too, like what signs you trying to send, but I pay attention to that too. But you also got to know that it's something going on behind closed doors too, right? All right, this is the point I'm trying to get to. Now, as the whole Sonia Massey incident was going on, right, and they, when they released the the footage, the body cam footage of that, right, a day later, they announced that the officer was justified in his actions. Wow. Now, to me, they use this whole body cam thing. The point this the point I'm trying to make. Keep up with me now, right? The whole point I'm trying to make is they use this whole body cam incident to cover up the fact that this officer will be walking free of shooting, not just shooting and unaliving, not just this 4-year-old, but the 57-year-old as well. Only because he was yielding and they didn't say, you know, he come at him with it, or none of that. He grabbed the young man to use him as a shield, put the knife to the young man's throat, and the police thought, this is where I shoot. Yeah, I don't think y'all heard me. It's the latest report.
The Macomb Police Department has announced that they intend to release the body cam footage of the officer-involved shooting from March 16th. The Macomb Police Department has been undertaking an internal investigation since the event. The McDonough County State's Attorney requested that an independent prosecuting agency conduct the formal review of the shooting. This was done to remove the appearance of bias from the investigation. The Illinois State's Attorney's Appellate Prosecutor's Office has previously determined there to be no bias for criminal charges against the officer on March 16th at around.
Is your antennas on? Is your antennas on? Are you listening to this right now? All right, now that I got your attention, I'm going to back it up one time. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Keep that in mind. Break that down and ponder over that while we listen to this news clip.
Macomb Police Department has announced that they intend to release the body cam footage of the officer-involved shooting from March 16th. The Macomb Police Department has been undertaking an internal investigation since the event. The McDonough County State's Attorney requested that an independent prosecuting agency conduct the formal review of the shooting. This was done to remove the appearance of bias from the investigation. The Illinois State's Attorney's Appellate Prosecutor's Office has previously determined there to be no bias for criminal charges against the officer on March 16th at around 10 p.m. Police officers arrived at 915 Charles Street in response to multiple calls of a domestic dispute. During the incident, a Macomb police officer fired a single shot, killing both 57-year-old Anthony George and a child identified by the initials TM.
Girl. Let's do a little digging, y'all. Let's see what we can come up with. This young man can go down as a hashtag TM. Go find me. No, that's not what we trying to do. We ain't trying to get it. I found out who TM was.
Report the mother of the 4-year-old boy killed in Macomb last month. Betty Fran shows us how that boy was and how his family is coping with his loss.
A young boy taken too soon.
There's no words you can put on it. We're still stunned and numbed right now.
Terrell Miller was shot by a Macomb police officer during a domestic dispute. The boy was used as a human shield by 57-year-old Anthony George. Both were killed by the same bullet.
It's a really hard thing because you're a parent, you work with kids, you see children, and for it to be a 4-year-old child, innocent child.
April Dawn Smith is a friend of the family and longtime community member.
I knew Terrell when he was in his mom's belly. I knew his mom when she was a little bitty girl.
She remembers Terrell as a sweet kid who loved trains and Spider-Man.
He never gave you any difficulties or negative behavior. He was just a really, really happy child. He was a miracle baby because we never thought that Kiana could have children. And then when she got pregnant with Terrell, we were just ecstatic and excited.
Terrell's uncle Marlon Jackson says he seemed like an old soul.
It's like he already been here before, you know. By him being 4 years old, it's like he already seen a lot of life already, maybe 100 years already.
In the months since his passing, the community has rallied around his mother, Kiana. They raised $3,000 for her during a cookout at the end of March.
And it was really nice because we were only asking like $10, $15 for different plates, and people were donating like $80 for one plate.
I'm kind of proud of Macomb for actually making this happen, for real.
But as the family waits for answers from the investigation, April says people should follow Terrell's example.
The main thing that we're trying to get people to understand is smile, because he always had a big smile on his face.
In Macomb, Maddie France, WQAD News 8.
I can't make this up. We're going to forget about the part of him even being a member or a relative of Sandra Macy, right? Let's keep in mind this was a 4-year-old little boy that the police just said their officer was justified in this shooting. One bullet took 2 lives. Now, we haven't even got to the part of you shooting this 57-year-old or you unaliving him. And I think it was all swept under the rug because they released this information the day after Sonia Massey's shooting. It's the same police department. This was a chess move, if you ask me. But I play chess, right? See, they thought they was thinking 2 moves ahead. I was already on that. And in chess, I'm taught to finish, just like in life. So I'm watching. I peep the play. Oh, y'all gonna slide this right on in, right up under this Sonia Massey incident. By the way, R.I.P. to Sonia Massey. And justice for Sonia Massey. But we're not gonna let this slide. No, we want to hold y'all accountable for all the lives you taken. This one bullet took 2 lives. I keep on saying that. I'm gonna keep saying that. And this police officer walked. Let's see why this police officer, or they felt the need to let that. Well, we heard them say it was justified in their eyes to take the lives of the ones that they did. But this the part I'm not understanding. Him holding that young man shouldn't have been a threat to the police. Him holding that young man and having a knife to that young man's throat was not a threat to the only person was threatened in that situation to me was the young man, right? And you decided that you wouldn't even take in consideration that he had that young man in his arms. And I found out that the police, Nick Gock is his name, I think. Goch, however you pronounce that. He ain't coming up in that Google search. They did have an article, though. I'm trying to find the article.
Friends, family, and activists held a rally to support the mother of the 4-year-old boy killed in Macomb last month. Betty France shows us how that boy was and how his family is coping with his loss.
A
A young boy taken too soon.
There's no words you can put on. Still stunned and numbed right now.
Terrell Miller was shot by a Macomb police officer during a domestic dispute. The boy was used as a human shield by 57-year-old Anthony George. Both were killed by the same bullet.
It's a really hard thing because you're a parent, you work with kids, you see children, and for it to be a 4-year-old child, innocent child.
April Dawn Smith is a friend of the family and longtime community member.
I knew Terrell when he was in his mom's belly. I knew his mom when she was a little bitty girl.
She remembers Terrell as a sweet kid who loved trains and Spider-Man.
He never gave you any difficulties or negative behavior. He was just a really, really happy child. He was a miracle baby because we never thought that Kiana could have children. And then when she got pregnant with Terrell, we were just ecstatic and excited.
Terrell's uncle Marlon Jackson says he seemed like an old soul.
It's like he already been here before, you know. By him being 4 years old, it's like he already seen a lot of life already, maybe 100 years already.
In the months since his passing, the community has rallied around his mother, Kiana. They raised $3,000 for her during a cookout at the end of March.
And it was really nice because we were only asking like $10, $15 for different plates, and people were donating like $80 for one plate.
I'm kind of proud of Macomb for actually making this happen, for real.
But as the family waits for answers from the investigation, April says people should follow Terrell's example.
The main thing that we're trying to get people to understand is smile, because he always had a big smile on his face.
In Macomb, Maddie France, WQAD News 8.
We reached out to the Illinois State Police. As of Friday afternoon, there are no updates that they could share about the investigation.
And we're learning more details today about the police-involved shooting down in Macomb. McDonough County Coroner Eric Jamison tells News 8 there was no relation between the suspect and the 4-year-old child. Yesterday, we learned that an officer fired one shot, which killed both the suspect and the child on Saturday night. The Illinois State Police is still determining whether there will be any release of body cam video. Investigators say they were called for an active domestic disturbance, and at the time, the man was allegedly holding a knife to the child's throat. According to police, he ignored directions to drop that knife. A woman stabbed several times was also taken to the hospital. We don't know her current condition. The officers involved are all on administrative leave.
Anyway, squad, this is all allegedly, well, we know this is the same police department. And we know that they will attempt to cover stuff up, right? But again, like I say, I don't see where it was justified for that young man to be shot. What was the threat? What threat did the police have to shoot him? I don't get that part, squad. And how is it that the police can easily say it's okay? It was okay for him to do that. For him to take not only one life, but two. With one bullet. Of course, I know they argued that in court where he only shot one time. But that one time was one too many. I don't see why the police would say, let me shoot. To stop this man from what he doing. Like, I don't get it. Like, to me, that young man, the 4-year-old, should have been priority. Now, Nick Gotch, like I say, Nick, G-O-C-H, was a police officer. And I did have some information here, right, on old Nick. And let me tell you something, right? This is what the story is, And this is again, this is alleged. But if there's any truth in this is crazy. The police that shot Sonia Massey, right? It's a small world. Let's just put it like that. But the wife supposedly worked at the medical center where Sonia Massey was gone. Allegedly, the cousin of Sonia Massey was the 4-year-old that was shot. Which they released the report that the police that shot this 4-year-old wouldn't be held on any charges the day after Sonia Massey video was released. The body cam image footage of Sonia Massey. And the young lady that was stabbed, the 4-year-old's mother, it's been said that she had been harassed she was harassed up to that point for months by the police department. And this is all allegedly. Once again, don't hold Mr. Follow Up foot to the fire on that one. What's more importantly, uh, this is not backed by Fly High Productions. But this was going on out in the YouTube streets right now, right? And I'm trying to figure out, I'm digging into this. I'm following up on this case. We do know, again, I'm gonna say this, whether that's her relative or not, we got a 4-year-old that's uh, come to the hands of the police. So we know we got a problem there, period. Let's just start right there. Whether they relatives or not. And what made you decide on the day after you really, I guess you just, it was a floodgate of information that this police department decided that they would release to the public. Let's give them the body cam footage of the Sonia Massey incident. Then let's come behind and right after, this goes viral all over, United States. Let's slide it in that this police officer won't be held on any charges for shooting this young man. Man, yeah. Who picking up what I'm putting down? If you picking up what I'm putting down, just give me a like and we'll leave it at that. Because for real, I don't think a lot of people hearing me. A lot of people probably referring me because they saying, "Oh, this dude just on his conspiracy," which that's not the case. That's not the case here. I'm not saying that none of this is factual. What I am saying is, if we are speaking facts, which again, let me clarify this part of this live stream. This part is factual. A 4-year-old in this same police department of Sonia Massey has been unalived. Nobody's going to be held accountable, and the bullet came from this police department. Outside of that, we're going to say everything alleged because we don't know for sure if this is this woman's relative, right? We don't know. We do know, and again, I'm gonna say this. I don't want to keep on sweeping under the rug that it was another human being taken at the same time, the both by this one bullet, by this police department. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Can you hear me right now? We do know that this police department will try to sweep shit under the rug. That's as that's obvious. We heard it ourselves. I heard it. If you didn't hear it, I'm telling you. We do know that they will attempt to sweep it under the rug. Because what did that 911 phone call say? It's self-inflicted. What self-inflicted mean? I mean, you took and did bodily harm to yourself. And I heard it go across to the dispatcher twice. So I'm going to say you intentionally tried to deceive the public from the start. Because you said it twice. It wasn't no let's see. What's on your man? You said this twice. You repeated it twice. So you know what you were saying. You knew what you were saying when you said that. I could see if you made a mistake the first time when you said, all right, it was self-inflicted. But you repeated it. So I'm just saying, in the court of law, here on the streets, I just see you being deceptive, man. You try to manipulate the system from the start. Like, you came out the gate with it on the phone while the barrel was still hot. It was self-inflicted. Evidently, you know, they asked you to repeat yourself. You said it again. It was self-inflicted. So everybody should be held accountable. Said, well, the second police, he didn't fire no shot. He seemed to be sympathetic about the situation. He held the rag to her head. He didn't stop his partner neither. He didn't tell his partner, hold up, holster your gun. What he do? He pulled his too. He pulled his too, right? If you was with me and we went into the liquor store, and whatever crime I decide to do, whether it be an M1 or whatever, you gonna be held as, you gonna end up being my co-defendant. That's the whole thing they trying to get, these boys in the YSL on a RICO law. Meaning no matter what I do, the rest of these boys go down with me. Because they was all part of the gang. But when it come to them, they separate themselves, they minimize prosecution and all that. Everybody want to show you footage now. Let's listen to the 911 phone. I don't want y'all to think I'm just.
We want to get the suspect in.
Come on, man.
You're watching a toothbrush play Billie Eilish.
Jacob, thank you so much. We have breaking news here at noon. The autopsy results have been released in the death of Sonia Massey.
Hold up,
they
y'all.
confirm she died from a gunshot wound to the head. But while family spoke just moments ago,
Hold up. Her autopsy came in. What was they trying to? What they trying to prove by telling us that? Like, I don't need no autopsy to know what she. It's crazy, man. Again, they might just they might still be trying to hide the fact that. Come on now. We're gonna make sure we don't show you no more. Yeah, they might be just still trying to hide the fact that man, they done unalive a 4-year-old along with another man. and nobody's gonna be held accountable. Deep. It is deep.
Thank you so much. We have breaking news here at noon. The autopsy results have been released in the death of Sonia Massey. They confirmed she died from a gunshot wound to the head. But while family spoke just moments ago, it was revealed that her son said he had reached out to the sheriff's office within the last 24 hours for a mental health concern and that officers had been to her house. Family attorney Ben Crump addressed the media just moments ago about the results.
Was just a senseless, unnecessary, excessive use of force.
Crump also said they are also looking into some other complaints. Deputy Sean Grayson, who is accused of murdering Massey, Crump said neither filed official reports with the department, but the Sangamon County officials say Grayson had no use of force complaints on file and that they were not aware of any prior departments he worked at.
I'm literally scratching my head. This police had 2 DWIs and had worked at 6 different police departments. Within 6 years at least, because don't quote me on that part, but I know he ain't do more than a year at each department. Which, damn, don't somebody find that brother suspicious? Like, why is he bouncing around like this? Why every time he went to 6 different police departments before he landed her, and he probably evidently found the one he was looking for. Cause it sounds like to me they doing a bunch of crooked shit down there, and they covering it up. That's what it sounds like to me. I could be wrong, but shit. In my opinion, I think they should be investigated because if it's okay for you to go in there and unalive 2 people, nobody be held accountable, and your reasoning behind it to you was justified. And apparently to everybody y'all ran it across. It was justified. But you know why I'm talking about it today? 'Cause they tried to slide it up under the rug. They tried to slide it under the rug that the day that they releasing that they was going. No, they tried to slide up under the rug that the police would not be held accountable for unaliving these 2 people. 1 bullet, 2 shots. That's the only thing I can give him credit for. But that 1 bullet took 2 lives, and one of them was a 4-year-old young man. Not to disregard the 57-year-old man that you took out. I'm waiting on this footage. And check this out, squad. I suggest you hit that notification bell if you want to see that footage too, because I'm on it. And the minute I get it, I'm going to bring it to you. Let's see what CNN talking about. This just came in 2 hours ago. Unmute her, huh?
The shooting of a black woman inside her own home is sparking national outrage this morning. Sonia Massey, a 36-year-old black woman, was gunned down by a deputy after she called 911 to report a possible prowler at her home. She called for help and ended up dead. She was shot seconds after police had given her permission to remove a pot of boiling water from the stove. The officer then drew his gun, causing her to duck for cover. She was shot 3 times in her own home. Now her family is demanding to know why the deputy who pulled the trigger was hired in the first place. His personnel file revealed a troubling employment history and past DUI charges. I am joined now by Sonia's son, Malachi, and civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who is representing the Massey family. Thank you both for coming in this morning. I know, Malachi, that you are heartbroken. Can you tell me first how you found out that your mother had been shot and killed?
So basically, I take my dad to work at like 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever. So I was taking him to work. I came home, then I was getting back in the bed. And as soon as I had woke up, not even woke up, I'm sorry. As soon as I was finna go back to sleep, I got a call, and it was like a random number. I didn't know who it was, but I answered it. And that's when they said, your mother has been shot, and it came out her neck. And it went through her eye, and it came out her neck. And they just was saying somebody. That's all they, I don't know why they kept on saying somebody shot her. And I said who, and they wouldn't tell me who. I'm like, who? And they just said somebody. And then next thing you know, I get up. I wasn't even thinking. I was like, I got to get to my grandma's house. And then I told my grandma what happened, and she was just in disbelief. Just like me, I didn't want to believe it. And then we didn't find out that it was a police officer until a day after, too. That's the thing. So we were just left clueless, honestly.
What do you think should happen to the officer? I know that you have told me that you have not watched the video, which would be so traumatic for you. So that's a good thing. But what do you think should happen to the officer who took your mother's life?
I think he should be, man, honestly, he need life, or something, because it's no way in the world that should have happened to my mother. He should have let anything like that. That shouldn't have went down. It's no way, no how. I feel like he didn't care from the beginning. He didn't care from the beginning, because I watched one clip of the first part of it, and he just had no regards for my mother. So we need to have no regards for him and get him locked down for as long as possible. I don't even know.
You watched a little bit of it. I know the officer has been fired and been charged. Can you, Ben, tell me what happens now in this investigation? You're expecting some news today, correct?
Yes, ma'am, Sarah. And Sarah, I'm intentionally wearing pink for you being a champion for the battle against breast cancer. Today, the autopsy is being released by the state's attorney, and it shows exactly what Malachi said, that his mother was shot beneath her eye and the bullet exited the back of her neck under her ear. And what it tells us is that he shot her in a downward trajectory. And, we know that she was stupid saying sorry, and he shot anyway. And so it is just tragic. Also, we're talking to the Department of Justice, the Civil Rights Division, because there are other citizens of color who said that this officer engaged in excessive force against them. So it begs the question what Malachi's grandfather said, why was he even on the sheriff's department in the first place? Why was he hired with all the red flags that he should not have been a person who could interact with the public with this gun and badge?
Malachi, can I ask you what you thought of the fact on the video it shows that he didn't render aid either and discouraged his fellow officer from rendering aid to your mom as well? What do you make of that?
That when I heard that, that was like I didn't that was crazy to me. Like, how are you supposed to be a police officer and you shoot someone? I've seen like videos before of like this happening, and they give them first aid right after it happens. Why? I don't understand why he would do that. I can't believe that. Like, why? Why?
And that's the question, Sarah. It's so inhumane, without remorse. This video reminds people about the video 4 years ago with George Floyd, the lack of humanity, and how that galvanized people to take action and go vote. And we think that Sonia Massey's tragic video is going to galvanize people in our community to act, because she needed a helping hand, not a bullet to her face. And for Malachi and his sister Summer, we have to use Sonia Massey's words. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus until we get justice and this discriminatory criminal justice system, full justice for Sonia Massey. We rebuke this system until it actually gets convictions. We can't be satisfied with just charges. We know how that's worked out for Black people in the past.
Malachi, can I ask you about your mom and just, the public doesn't know her. They only know about her final moments. What can you tell me that sits with you about your mother? We're showing a picture there, I think, of her holding you, which is sweet.
She's I don't know, she's the most loving person. She's the person who showed me how to love, wow, just a ball of energy. I said that, I think I said that before, but she's always happy. Only thing I can really remember my mom is that bright smile, honestly. Like her bright smile, that's all I can remember. That's all I want to remember too. But she is she was a helper. She helped everybody, sure. All of her friends tells me how she helped them. What else?
Do you remember any words of wisdom, Malachi, that she would give to you as a young person, as her child?
Oh, she would always tell me to read my Bible. That's what she would always tell me to do. Like every day, she'd be like, "Did you read your Bible?" Like she, very close with God, very very close with God. Like y'all heard her last words.
Malachi.
That's all.
Malachi Massey, thank you so much. What a beautiful sentiment that your mother, was the person who taught you how to love. I appreciate you coming on in this really difficult time. Ben Crump, appreciate you as well. Thank you both for being here.
Again, y'all, I'm gonna follow up on these on this case here, because at this point I want to know now, are they related to the 4-year-old? Is the Massey family related to this 4-year-old that was shot? And why couldn't they wait to discuss? That's almost like, we'll say, put it in layman terms, we'll say two rappers decide to drop they album on the same day. That's because it's that causes problem in the rap world. And I couldn't see why at first, but now I kind of see. This world is an algorithm. You understand what I'm saying? So if yours hit the media first and the algorithm take off over there, the second one that come out gonna be kind of swept under the rug, which is basically what I'm saying happened here in this case here. When the Sonya Massey incident took off, this case here was swept under the rug to me, because we didn't hear nothing about this 4-year-old. We didn't hear nothing about them releasing the footage in that same police department of this 4-year-old being shot. But I'll be waiting on that footage, right? I most definitely will be waiting on that footage to drop. Because at this point, I want to know. And I think it's important that the squad should know what happened to her on this day that this police decide to unalive these two people. And why is he not being held accountable for his actions? Did he get paid while he was on leave? All these questions need to be answered. What was his record prior to this day? We need to dig a little deeper. Anyway, again, let me say this. Let this not be forgotten. I am Mr. Follow Up. It's Fly High Productions. I'm out. Squad up.